Discovered in this Ezekiel chapter 44, when you get home, read it. God says some stuff have taken place in his sanctuary that made him sick. He said there is some practices that we are practicing in the church. He won't stop immediately. All right, now the one of the principles I want to deal with is purity. Purity. Verse 17. When the priests entered the inner court of the temple, they were to wear linen clothes. They must not wear any woolen garment while ministering at the gate of the inner court or inside the temple. Pastor Curry, Ezekiel 44:17, what it says.
And it shall come to pass.
And it shall come to pass.
That when they enter in at the gates of the inner court.
That when they enter in at the gates of the inner court.
They shall be clothed with linen garments.
They shall be clothed with what?
Linen garments.
No. What God is saying right here, when you enter the temple, there shall be or should be a difference or a purity that is practiced within my sanctuary. He said, tell them, change their clothes. Don't tell me God ain't care what we do in church. Read.
And no wool shall come upon them.
No wool shall come upon them.
Whilst they minister in the gates of the inner court.
While they minister in the gates of the inner court.
And within.
And within.
They shall have linen bonnets upon their heads.
They shall have linen turbans on their heads.
And shall have linen breeches upon their loins.
And shall have linen undergarments.
They shall not gird themselves with anything that causes sweat.
Hear what God says. He says, I want you to be fully clothed in the Holy Ghost if you're going to minister in my temple. There are too much mess up people holding positions in God's church. Oh, look at them getting quiet. I don't care how quiet you get. He said, don't tell me you can enter my sanctuary and do service in my sanctuary and there is no change in your life. Touch your neighbor and say, there must be a change. Must be a change in yours. There must be a change in minds. There must be a change in every apostle in this country if you're going to minister in God's temple. They must not wear anything that make them sweat. On returning to the outer court, they are to take off the clothes they have been ministering in and leave them in a sacred room. This is how important this thing, Prophetess Davis, is to God. You're a minister. You're holding a position. God, I wish I could have preached. What kind of mess is going on in this country? How come all of this garbage got its way in the church of the living God? And not that it's there, but it's okay. Do we know who we have serving in God's temple? God was so concerned about this. He says, tell them when they're leaving. Read it, Pastor Guy, read it.
And when they go forth into the outer court.
When they go forth in the outer courts.
Even in the outer court to the people.
Even in the outer court to the people.
They shall put off their garments wherein they ministered.
Take off the garment wherein they ministered.
And lay them in the holy chambers.
God was so concerned about you being pure when you mount this pulpit that he says, just so your garment can't get dirty, just so it can't get soiled, when you stop ministering, leave it in a sacred room. Leave it so it cannot be contaminated. How come your spirit gets so messed up? Huh? And put on clothes so as not to concentrate the people with their garment. So think of our priests. He wears linen garment. These pure linen speak of purity. They are priestly garment and remind of us of the white garment that the saints would wear in the book of Revelation 4:4, 19 and 8. And the linen one that speak of is good deeds. They have power to consecrate others. You laying hands on people with your dirty self. Lord, they're getting quiet. You laying hands on people and your hands ain't clean. And some of y'all so excited you just want anybody lay hands on me. Please pray for me. I don't want nobody pray for me who can't get